Good morning and welcome to Facebook Live for our Fancy Folds challenge. Bear with me while I sort my computer. Okay. Good morning, Tracy. If somebody could give us some thumbs up if you can hear me okay, that would be fabulous. Thank you so much. Lovely, thank you, Philippa. I hope you had a fabulous day yesterday with your mum and Brian going to see Phantom of the Opera. I bet it was brilliant. And you had such a lovely day as well. Fabulous. Oh, thank you for all the thumbs ups and everything. That's really lovely. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera and share with you the card that I'm going to show you how to make this morning. And yeah, we'll go from there. Bear with me. Get my camera positioned nicely. My computer out of the way. Okay, that looks fairly straight. Okay, so the card that I'm going to be sharing how to make, this wasn't my idea, I hasten to add. I saw it on the internet and thought, oh, I rather like that. And they'd done it on a really deep navy blue card, which looked lovely because I really love the clear embossing that they'd done on the front. I just thought that was a nice little element just to add something but not detract or take over. You know, it's subtle. I really thought that was lovely. Used my dinky circle die to cut my aperture. Obviously you could use whatever shape you wanted. It looked rather nice actually with a hexagon as well. And then you open your card up, and because I've used double-sided card, or I don't know if you would call it card. 170 GSM, well, I suppose it's a bit more than paper. But I've used it from the Studio Light pads, and so it's one colour. It's the dark green on one side and the pale green on the other side, which is really lovely when you're doing something like this, because obviously you get that, not shock of opening it up, but when you open it up, you see all those lovely different colours, which was really lovely. So yeah. So I'm going to do some white embossing. I mean, and look how fab that little sentiment looks, white heat embossed. Don't lose any of the detail of the wording, just looks beautiful. And I love the alphabet tiles as well, done in the white embossing, and the special friend. I mean, that's a really little font as well, and it's embossed beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. So I'm going to use my banner sentiments inside as well. And then obviously I've done the cherry blossom already because I thought you don't want to sit and watch me cut all that out. So I might need to cut into it a bit more. But I've done the two colours, and I thought I would change it, and I thought I would have this tealy blue for the outside, but then when we flip it over, it's pink inside. So I thought that would give us just a different look. I'm not very good at making the same card twice. I like to change it up a little bit if I can. Oh, that's fabulous, Philippa. Your second time. Oh, how lovely. And Brian's first. Oh, that's nice. I just think it's such a lovely thing to do. It really is. Oh, hi, Bev, and hi, Leonie. You're ready for your craft show tomorrow. How nice. Send my love to Jeanette when you see her, won't you? Okay, so I'm going to be using the cherry blossom. I'm going to be using my happy birthday, but I'm also going to be using the happy birthday that comes in with the fuchsia. But obviously you could change that up for a different sentiment if you don't have both. So yes, I should be using my cherry blossom stamps. I've got some white embossing powder. I've got some clear embossing powder because I'm going to do the clear for my background, and then my sentiments are really going to pop off the page. So I've got my WAO embossing ink pad. I've got a black VersaFine to do my sentiment inside. And then I wanted to just quickly show you these pads. These are absolutely beautiful for these cards. These are both double-sided, loads of different colourways. This one that I've used it from is Lemonade. But yeah, you get one colour on one side and a different colour on the other side. So this, for this card, it's absolutely perfect because you're going to get that shock when you open it up. Well, not shock, but, you know, surprise at seeing that different colour inside. And then the brights, these are also one colour one side and a different colour the other side. So yeah, just really nice to use. And a lovely range of colours. There's so many of them. The brights is 170, but the Lemonade is 250. Oh, that's why, because it's 250. So this is card weight, definitely. And then the brights 170. This is more like paper. So I've made it from the actual Essentials paper pad, which is what they're both called. But I've made it from the Lemonade one because it is that thicker cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to move everything out of the way and let's get started. So I don't really need to stamp my cherry blossom because I thought that's all I've done is I've stamped it on one side of pink and on the other side was the deeper colour. So I've stamped it on the other side and I did 2 of each one. So I thought that would give me plenty. So that's the flowers, but I will probably cut into them. So the first thing I need out of here is the happy birthday. And I'm going to place my card, and I'm going to score my card first. So let me just put that in there for a minute. I'm going to score the card first. Okay, so bring my scoreboard in. And I'm trying my best not to touch the card too much, because when I touch it, you're obviously leaving some oils on there. And I want to emboss this piece, so I want to touch it as little as possible. Now, for your first fold, this is the reason you need 2 pieces, because this is one piece. So the front and the actual card is one piece, and then the flap that comes inside is from the second piece. So your first piece you need to score at 10 centimetres. I'm going to do my score line down there, and then I want a centimetre for the score at the other end. So obviously because this is 10, then I'm going to score at 20, and then that is going to be the bit that I stick my extra piece to. And then this piece I need to cut down to just under 10 centimetres. So I'm going to do that as well, so that that's all done. Then we'll have our card pieces and know what we've got to work with. So I'm going to trim this down, and I trimmed it down to just under 10. So I've got my 10 centimetre mark here, and I'm going to come just under it, just so that when I score this back, it's going to fold nicely. So that is my piece of card. I'm going to put the other piece to one side so I don't pick it up by mistake. Okay, so we have our 2 pieces, and you're going to stick it together. Well, we'll do this, I think we'll do the embossing first, but when we come to stick it together, all the colours will be the same on each side when you come to stick it together. But so we'll do our heat embossing first, I think. So I'm going to fold this because I want this to be the front of my card. Hello everybody, I am so sorry I haven't said any more hellos. I've just got into everything, so I'm sorry. Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me and for being part of the challenge as well. I have been seeing so many beautiful fancy fold cards have been put into the album. Don't forget, if you are going to join in, you must put it into the album and not just post it in the group. It's just a shame if you post it in the group, you won't, and you get lots of likes. It needs to go in the album, and that's where you want to get your likes for your card, and the card with the most likes will be the winner. And I'm sure, we must have a prize. Well, Philippa, if we haven't got a prize, we will have a prize. We'll put something together. So whoever gets the most likes will win. But we'll also send out a prize as well. Okay, so I'm going to place my stamp where I want it, but I'm going to use my press because it's a lovely surface to stamp onto. But I'm not going to use my press to stamp it because I need to move it around so much. So I'm going to put it onto a block. But one thing I am going to do is when I'm using a block, and I am so useless at stamping now, I rely on my stamp press so much that when I come to do stamping with a stamp on a block, it's like I get really nervous. So I'm going to put another stamp at the bottom, and now this will help. When I stamp this down, it will stop my block from rocking so much. So it gives me a much nicer surface to actually stamp onto. So I'm going to use my anti-static bag, and I've just done half of it at the moment. And then I'm going to use my new Wow embossing ink pad. I need to make sure I do not put this stamp anywhere near my ink pad, because obviously otherwise I'll be inking it up, and I don't want that. Now I'm going to start right at the top, come down and just give that a nice fairy fingers on my sentiment. Then I'm going to, now I need to cover that bit up. Oh, I've actually got a thin bit of paper here, which will be perfect. I'm just going to slide that underneath because I don't want to get any embossing ink on the pink bit of my card, but I want to go over the edge with my stamping, which is, I started layering it up. So I want to go over the edge. So I'm just going to have the happy part, and I'm just going to touch that down and get as much as I can because I'm actually off the edge. And then I'm going to vary. So I'm going to move it. So I've got my happy here. So now I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to move where my stamp is so that it's offset. I don't want the same part each time. So then I'm going to come over here and fill in the gap. I keep going down to stamp the flower, so I'm making sure I don't stamp the flower. So then I'm going to move just a little bit over. I'm just trying to offset my sentiment each time. I'm only going to ink the very end because I'm only probably going to get the H this time, and then the other end of my design. Right, now I can ink the whole lot up again, and I'll probably start back over here. Make sure I've got sort of trying to evenly space it. I am doing it closer than I did it the first time because I did feel once I'd done it, I thought, oh, I wish I'd put it a little bit closer together so you see it a bit more. So as per usual, I've made the mistakes on mine so that you don't have to. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up the happy because I've just got that to go in there. It should be all right. And then ink the whole stamp up, offset it, so bring it over, trying to leave about the same sort of gap each time, but don't worry about it too much, don't stress too much about it. But you just want it to be roughly even, if that makes sense. Right, I'm going to come back here. If you wanted to, you could just do this and just stamp the word in as it is. But I do think it's worth doing all the extra little bits and going off the page because it looks a bit more, well, it looks more like a patterned paper, if you like, because it goes off the edge and everything. Oh, got my flower on it now. I must really... Bear with me, I must really wipe that because I did just get that on the ink. And I can't believe how much it holds on to it. Right, so go back to just inking. I'm going to come out here now. So just working your way down. Let's come right over so we'll have a full one, but just at that edge. And then we just need... Oh, I did it too high. Oh, that's a bit like I'm going to chop that bit out. It's way too close. But that's okay because I'm going to chop that bit out with my die. Dear. Right, so I corrected it at this end. So I don't need to do that end because it won't show. We'll come right down here. move over and just have that bit, and then one more, and we'll do that smack bang. Oh, I'm going to take my stamp off now because it's going to overhang on the edge of my press, and I didn't want it to get in the way. Right, so I need a little bit at that end and an H at that end, and we should be fine. Okay, so let's put my lid on my new ink pad, get that out of the way, pick this one up, get my bit of card, try not to touch the front. So this is, I want clear embossing for this one, and I'm going to sprinkle that all over, shake it down my card, tap the excess off, make sure I've got all the edges. It looks pretty good, I have to say. So the only place I didn't do was here, and I did mess up there, but like I say, luckily I'm going to cut that bit out. I got too confident, but I was doing too well, you see. Okay, pop that back, get rid of that, get my nice big brush out and get rid of any extra powder, and then we'll bring my gun in. Now sometimes with coloured card, when you use it like this, it changes colour. Oh, I've got lots of embossing powder inside. It changes colour as you heat it, but usually it goes back to being the normal colour again. So bear with me while I just do the heat embossing. And I will try and angle it so you can see it actually starting to melt. It will just go, let's bring it up a little bit, it will just go darker and raised and shiny. So it gives you like an enamel effect. And then just work systematically across your card till it all goes raised and shiny. And once it's raised up, you can take the heat away. I'm going to come down, change my angle of my hand. I want to move my hand away from the heat because it really does get very hot. Right, and then you just want to give it a quick check, make sure that everything is done. But how pretty. Well, it's, I don't know, it's a lovely effect to do for a man's card actually, because it gives you a really nice background. I mean, that with just a happy birthday on it, like one of Hazel's die cut sentiment happy birthdays would be a fabulous card for a male card. But it's just so lovely. Okay, so I'm going to open my card out and I'm going to bring in my dinky dies, and I'm going to use my, I don't know whether to use the hexagon. Let me just have a think. Shall I do the hexagon instead? Why not? Why not? Show you something different then, won't I? So then you'll know if you like the hexagon or the circle. So luckily I am going to still be cutting off the bit where I messed up. So I'm just going to put this through my die cutting machine. I'm only going to die cut till I've cut the hexagon out. I won't pass it all the way through. I'll just go over the hexagon and then come back so I can get it out. And part of the reason for only going over the hexagon is I don't want to squash the embossing too much, but it hasn't damaged it at all. It still looks absolutely beautiful. And then I have this funny shape, which I could actually add. Well, I can't because I messed it up, but I could add that to another card if I wanted to, but I will make sure I throw that away. Okay, so let's put the hexagon one back. And it's rather nice actually, this one, because it does actually give you a little bit of an embossed edge to it. So it would be a nice piece to use if I hadn't messed it up. Never mind. Okay, so now our next bit, actually I'm going to do the embossing and then I can stick the two pieces together. So I have my front part done, and now I'm going to do the embossing on what is going to become the flap. So I want to make sure I do it on the same colour card, although I suppose I could. I'm just wondering whether to do it. The thing is that these meld in quite well, the joins, because they're the same colours. Now, if I flip it over and do it on the other side, I'm making the join much more obvious. Does that matter? I would probably do it that way if I do change it over. But then you'll have the embossing, then you have the light. No, I'm going to stick it to the same. So I'm going to do it on the blue side. So it is the same peeking through. Yeah, I am. Because it's going to, if I turn it over, then my join is going to show a bit more, and I don't want that. Right, so I'm going to pop this down and just onto my sticky mat, which isn't very sticky anymore. I must take the plunge and wash it, but I am so, yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned that it's going to work. Okay, what I should have done, and I'm going to do it now, is because I need to know where it's going to come on my card, I'm going to place my card back in here. Now I know where that hexagon is. Oh, it's not terribly straight, is it? Okay. So now I know where to do my sentiment for the inside of my card. It also is too big, so let me just cut it down a little bit, and then I'll wipe it again with my antiseptic bag. Bear with me. I just need to take a little slither off. So that now when I put that in, that's better. It's a bit wonky though. Didn't stay on there very straight. Bit skew whiff. Oh, bit cross about that, sorry. I'm really bad as well. I was going to read all the comments this morning. Just make sure that everything's... You could actually, Tracy, you're right. I could use that on another card and I could put a flower over it or something. You're right. I really shouldn't. There's always a way out, isn't it? Okay. Right, so my next stamps. Now I am going to do these in my press. So I want the happy birthday. So I want that to go in there. And I want special friend. And I want enjoy your day. Special friend is in the cherry blossom. And the happy birthday and enjoy your special day are all in the fuchsia. Make sure I get it up the right way. Be able to tell when I put the ink on it anyway. Okay, so then I can pick these up. I will just give this another anti-static. I will get my new Wow embossing ink pad and ink up my stamps. Make sure they're nicely inked. And then fairy fingers. Just make sure not pushing too hard because I don't want to splay anything out too much. Okay, so now I can take my magnets off and just pick up that piece of card. Oh, I'll just stamp that down now. Oh, Julie. Okay. Right, got a piece of card and my white embossing this time because I want it to really show. And I only ever put it over the piece of card that's actually got some ink on it. I mean, that just looks absolutely amazing just on the card with the powder. So let's get that heated. Pull my excess back, put the lid on, get my lovely big brush again, get rid of any excess before I get it anywhere. And where I shut my, I'm going to show you a tip for that, bear with me. Right, now let's heat this, get my tool nice and hot before I bring it in to my embossing. And now my powder should start to melt really nice and quickly. And I hope that you're actually seeing that happen. Okay, so that's all. That has embossed absolutely beautifully. I mean, to be able to read the detail on how little that stamp is, I think just it's fabulous. Okay, so when I shut my stamping press, my stamps have still got some ink on them, so there is now going to be embossing ink in here. So a tip, if you ever do that, you can heat it, but you can also just wipe it over with your anti-static bag, and now your embossing powder shouldn't stick. But for the inside of my card, we're just going to do the sentiment banner. So I'm going to get that stamp. And I'll do my happy birthday. And I'm going to place that down. So I need to turn my press round so I can put my card in and hold it in place. And then I can place my happy birthday, making sure that I'm between these two score lines. And let's take these stamps off. Pop them back. Say my happy birthday in my fuchsia, and you'll enjoy your day in my fuchsia, and special friend in the cherry blossom and the happy birthday. Okay, so now I can pick this stamp up, and I've got my black VersaFine, and I'm going to ink my stamp up, and I'm going to make sure before I go to my card that it looks really nice and inked, which it does. I'm going to bring that over, but because we've used the press, if it didn't come out nicely enough, I could go back over that. And just in this one I stamped it and cut it out and left it so it had a white centre, but I wanted to do this one and have the pink centre of the card showing, which I think looks absolutely fab. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this, get rid of that, and pop that back in my set. I'm not good like this, I know I'll end up losing them, so I'm quite strict with myself for putting them back. Okay, so now we can join our two cards together, and to do this I think I'm going to turn this over. Let's get my score tool. Jenny, you're absolutely right. It is liquid pearls. Actually, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of glitter glue. I put the glitter glue down first, and then I put little dots of liquid pearls in the centre, which I just love. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over and then make sure I've got everything up the right way. Then this can be glued. Make sure that's right. I never have faith in myself. Yeah, that's going to go on there, and this is going to come over. Just make sure everything fits and it's not poking out the side. That's perfect. So I need it over like that and like that. So I'm going to put glue on the edge on my tab. Always best to glue the tab, because then you're not gluing past where you want your glue to be. Okay. And then can line up, and you want it so that your piece of card is just the other side of your score line. Wipe off any excess glue. It might have actually splodged through on the other side. That was lucky. And then I can firm this down. You can use your bone folder if you want to. So we now have our card, our fancy fold card, all ready to go. So let's bring in the flowers. And it is really just a case of whether you're going, I think I'm going to cut it. So I am going to snip into it. Obviously the circle is a different shape to the hexagon, but I'm going to snip into it. Something Tracy does all the time, and I quite like that you could see the hexagon a little bit actually. I might have my flowers a bit past. Yeah, it's something that Tracy does all the time, and I don't do nearly enough, is actually cut into my flowers. Okay, so I want a couple of pink ones. So I think I'm going to actually snip it here. And I think I'm going to have this bit down here. Yeah, okay. And what I like to do is I like to use my pokey tool, and I have cut into the centres, lovely. So I'm just going to curl and shape my petals just a little bit. Obviously not all of them are going to lift up because some have got the leaves on them, but whatever bit of dimension you give them is going to look lovely. So we'll have, I didn't cut into these ones, so actually I'm going to cut down into this one, and I'm going to cut that little bit of branch off. There we go. So now I can curl. Didn't cut down far enough in that one. And let's make sure I've cut into that one. Okay, so just curling round, so I'm lifting the petals up just to give it that little bit of movement, a bit of dimension. Curl the leaves as well. So I'm quite happy with those there. Let's cut into these a bit. So that one is. I might cut that leaf off actually. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, Tracy, I'm getting very adventurous. I don't normally cut into them at all, and I love, whenever I watch you do it, I think I must do that. It gives it a different look. I mean, it's nothing difficult, it's just I don't think to do it. But you're changing, you're getting a different look from the same stamps, which is really lovely. Okay, so I'm going to put that one down there, and then I'm going to curl those up, and that. I'm going to cut into this one. So I'm just cutting down to into the centre, not all the way, obviously, otherwise it's going to cut through. Those ones I've done. Okay, so I can lift that leaf up a little bit, but just giving it, I just think it changes it totally when you start shaping the petals a little bit. Brings the flowers to life. I might actually, I'm not going to cut that bit off, but I'm going to come down here so I can raise that petal up. There we go. So I think I'm going to come in from this side. I'm trying to keep the hexagon shape a little bit. I don't know if I shouldn't really be worrying. Okay, so I think that's going to be plenty for the front. So I'm going to stick this. So where you've got a flat piece, I'm going to put my glue. And then this can come... No, I'm going to go like that, and I'll chop that little bit off. So I don't mind if I overhang the hexagon a little bit, but I am trying to keep, I want to keep a bit of that shape showing. And then this bit where we've got that flat piece, I can put my glue there. And again, you need to make sure you're not outside of your lines too much. Pop that down. And then we've got a nice big flat piece here. And I can glue that, tuck those little leaves under. I am trying to reflect, not reflect, I am trying to keep the shape of the hexagon. I want, you know, I'm trying to show that shape. Okay, I might just need a little bit of glue under there, and because it's got the clear embossing, it might take a little bit to stick. Okay, so then I went inside my card, and last time I added up into the corners because I didn't really want you to see. I don't mind maybe seeing a little bit of flower poking. In fact, that would look nice, wouldn't it? So we could have a flower down here, maybe have a red one. Right, let's put that one in. Let's just trim that down. I'm going to get rid of that bit of branch. Right, they look like they're all done. So just curl and shape this. And then we can have a bit of glue on the back. And I just want to make sure it's going to show. So I sort of want it around there. And then it's going to peek through. But the other ones, I wanted them so that they were a little bit more hidden at the top there. So I have a nice bit of pink. I'm going to cut it off there. It doesn't have to be the same either. That's the thing. I could put this so that this is peeking. I could put this so that this is peeking and you do see part of it. But I think I am going to keep it up there. And I just want one red flower. I'm going to cut this little piece off here. And I'm going to cut the twig off. I don't want the leaf bit on it. Okay, so then I can curl these up. Give this a nice bit of movement. And curl these. Again, and my leaves. Let's cut into that one. And I think this card would do for so many different occasions. I know, aren't I a devil, hey? Cutting into my own stamp designs. Honestly, Tracy, every time I watch you, I think, why don't I cut into them a bit more? Especially you made a beautiful fuchsia card, and it was like, why didn't I think of doing that, putting lots together? It just looks so beautiful. Okay, so then for the inside, I just wanted a little bit around my happy birthday sentiment. So if we open this up, we could have, I quite like the leaf hanging over a little bit as well, actually. Okay, so if we did that, and how about, oh, we've got a smaller piece there. Okay, let's trim this down. So I'm going to come in, get rid of that bit of the spare branch, and just soften those edges a little bit. Okay, so this one needs cutting in. That one's done, that one's done. Okay, so curl these up. When I'm adding flowers like to the inside, if I'm not using all the same colour, and I'm not this time, I would always put the softer colour towards the top. I'm actually going to cut that at an angle, and then I'm going to have that so it looks like it's coming out from behind the sentiment. So I would, the red is obviously the deeper colour, so I would put this towards the bottom, because to me the darker colour is heavier. I mean, it isn't, but for me, that's how it sits comfortably design-wise, like having the deeper colour at the bottom. So let's pop a bit of glue on that flat bit, and I'm going to attach this as if it's coming out of the bottom of my sentiment. Don't mind if it overhangs ever so slightly onto my sentiment. That's absolutely fine. There. Okay, so I have got a couple of spare bits which I could keep and use and put over my mistake. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. So that goes in there, and then this comes out the front. So to decorate, it's funny, isn't it, that it's always other people's cards that you see and it's like, oh, why didn't I think to do that? Yep, you're absolutely right, Tracy. Okay, so let me get, first of all, my glitter glue, and then my very small bottle that I have hardly got any left of platinum liquid pearls. I need to get some more. I must order some. So what I did, and I just do the front because obviously I need to let little bits dry and then we can move on to the inside. So where I've got the detail lines on my flowers, I did a bit of glitter glue just in the centre parts. And let's add a little bit to the leaves. I can't make a card without putting glitter glue on it. So just on those squiggly lines in the centre of your flower, I would put my glitter glue. And then that's just adding, it just adds that little bit of sparkle and draws your eye to the centre of the flower. Okay, I'll do the inside bits once it's dry. And then where I've got my little dots, I'm going to squeeze very gently and just do some random dots in the middle of my flowers. I don't try and copy what's the dots that are there. I just try and fill the centre up with some random dots. And I was going to say, I'm not going to mention, because this gets blocked ever so easily, but I thought I won't mention it and it might not happen. And so far, okay, maybe add a few more. It dries really quick, so you can leave it and let that dry and see if you want to add any more. But let me bring this up. But like, just how pretty with that little bit of glitter glue, but then those liquid pearls inside. Just a different finish for your card. So I will do these ones and these inside, and I will take a photo. But I'm just going to put them down together. I do like the front a bit more with the embossing, the clear embossing being closer together than I did before. It was quite open, so I am pleased that I moved that a bit closer together. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. Just a simple fancy fold card, but something a little bit different. I love the contrast of the double-sided paper. I think that really makes the card. I wish I'd done the blue the other way round now just to see, but never mind. But I just think it's a really nice card. I was really taken with it when I saw it on the internet, and I thought that would be a lovely one to share. And then Philippa said we've got the fancy fold, so I thought it was perfect. Right, bear with me, let me just flip the camera. Don't like to go without saying goodbye and thanking you for joining me. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and for everyone, enjoy your catch up if you haven't seen it live, which doesn't matter, that's the whole point of it. I am downloading some more videos which I'm trying to get done as well, so that will be, I'll probably put some more up maybe tomorrow. Should have another nice bunch to do, and I will do the video as well because I did promise to show how to download the links or how to save them. So I'll do that, but I do it on my laptop or my computer, and it's all going to be different for everyone's different phones, and things like that. So I'm going to do it for I'm afraid I'm all Apple. So, but it's going to be pretty similar how you do it, and maybe the hints and tips that I'm going to give you for how I do it will help with that. I hope that makes sense. I know what I mean. Anyway, so yes, so please post your entries into the Fancy Folds, but make sure you do it into the album. I will take photographs and add this, but don't comment on mine. Like, I don't want to win. I want one of you to win, and we will send a prize out to whoever does win. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so please put your entries in there. I'm assuming you can enter as many times as you like, but it's the card that gets the most likes that will win. So it's you that's voting for them, which I think is the nicest thing about it all. Hi Jeanette, hope you've had a oh, you've been setting up. It's the show tomorrow. Hope you have a fabulous show, lovely. And I hope we have to speak on Monday. I'm doing the basket and egg. Oh, fabulous. So Tracy's got a live on Monday. Is that during the day, Tracy, like at 10:30, or is that an evening one? Tracy's lovely basket that she did that went out as a prize. So I can't show you it, but we've got a picture of it. And then she's going to do the little eggs to hold the eggs as well, which is fabulous. So yes, that would be great. So that's on Monday. And let me just... Okay, 10:30. So 10:30 here on Monday. So thank you ever so much, Tracy. That's fabulous. Okay, so tomorrow I will post some more videos up, and I will show you how to download the links as well. Okay, have a lovely creative day. It's a beautiful day out there. Yeah, just hope you have a lovely time, and we will see you soon. And don't forget Tracy's live on Monday. Okay, bye.